Welcome. Hey everyone. We're going to talk about the Gemini New Moon today. Um, Today's May 26th. And yes, we have our Gemini New Moon. So let's get into it. I'm super excited. We're going to go over some of the astrology. We're going to go over a little bit human design. We'll go into the gene keys for this specific degree of Gemini. And then we'll talk about the dream arc animals a little bit as well. And then at the end, I will go through and we'll touch on the houses so you can see what area of life this is going to be happening for you. So you can actually get pretty specific with yourself. No worries, Jules. All right. And yeah, and then it'll be open for sharing if anybody wants to share anything, but it is, you don't have to. Let me let some people in here real quick. Hey, Roseanne. Perfect timing. We're just starting, so you didn't miss anything.
Good, good, good. And this is Eileen.
Hi,
Hi.
Eileen. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Welcome.
you. Thank you.
Sweet. All right. You guys didn't miss anything. We're just getting started. So this is the Gemini new moon. The sun just went into Gemini on the 20th. On the 20th. I feel like I'm kind of behind. I feel like, wow, on the 20th. That was really fast because it's already the 26th. Feel like I kept looking and being like, it's still Taurus season, it's still Taurus season. All of a sudden, Gemini season came, and bam, we're a weekend, and that's how Gemini rolls. So things are quick, things are fast, things are fun, lighthearted. Gemini, even though I have zero Gemini placements, it's probably one of my favorite signs. Because truly I feel in the Geminis that I know, maybe I'm just lucky, I don't know, but they are, or people with Gemini placements even, are just so, like, they are not holding on to anything. Like, everything is just free flowing. There's such a lightness, there's such a playfulness, there's such a curiosity. And I just think it's very refreshing. It's a very refreshing sign, in my opinion, as a Scorpio. So there is this airy nature. This is a mutable air sign. So the mutable means that it's the most changeable of the air signs. And it is the sign that's, if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's taking us from spring into summer. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's taking you from fall into winter. So it's going to be that transitionary point as far as seasonally when we're looking at the astrology. And Gemini is symbolized by the twins. So there's like this dualistic nature. And I feel like it's even more than that. It's kind of fractally. It kind of Nina's Gemini moon. I love that. It's because you might look at there's another dualistic sign, which is Libra, which is the scales, and it's all about balancing energies and trying to find that middle ground. And it's very diplomatic. And which is also an air sign. And then we have Gemini, which even though it's the twins, it's like these multiple facets of a personality. It is like it's so adaptable. It's so changeable. It is the chameleon type of archetype. If you want to call it an archetype, not really an archetype, but it's that chameleon essence. It, that is very Gemini. It's about being able to be in any kind of situation, any kind of environment, and adapt yourself into what is necessary, what is needed at that time, or if you're talking to a specific person, how they best need to understand you or hear you. And that especially goes along if we're dealing with Mercury and Gemini, because that's more of how we are communicating, which Mercury actually does happen to be in Gemini right now and actually conjunct this new moon. So this is really prominent, specifically, especially for the next couple days, where our communication and our ability to adapt with that the flow from the idea into the expression is very strong right now. It's very heightened, it's very available. So even if you are normally more fixed and more just one way of being, with this energy present, it's helpful in allowing you to be more open to the diversity and more open to different ways of expressing or relating to people. And also because we're touching on Mercury as well, it's not just how we communicate, it's also our conscious mind. It's how we're going to think about things because we obviously are going to speak what we are thinking about. So our mind is really able to tap into a very like regardless of the placements that you have, this is what's available right now. This is what the energetic like the air around us, the electricity, the energy in the air is really supporting having a more open perspective, a more open mind, a more flexible mind. It's not so serious. It's not so, it doesn't have to be one way. It can change. Things can change. Things are always changing. And the mutable signs in general are very like representative of that, of the fact that things are always changing. They're always in flux. The seasons are changing, the weather is changing, your emotions are changing, your mind can change, opinions change, people change. It is the only constant in the world. It's the only thing that does not change is change, you know? So sometimes we can get really rigid in our life depending on your personality or how you grew up or whatever it is, and that can be very beneficial, you know, having structure, having specific rhythms, having predictability. But if it's not like we can be too far in that sometimes, which is why it's really beautiful the fact that we might have our birth chart, right, which is like that snapshot of when you were born of the sky. But then since that point, everything has changed. Everything has shifted, and it's always shifting. And so we're always getting um a refreshment through different areas of our life, through different things and different scenarios and places and people. And that's what I really love about astrology is that you're able to track the the shifts and where they're going to be at the time they're going to be at so that you can maybe give yourself permission even to change if maybe you were looking for that. So as the sun is transiting, so the sun and the moon are the fastest transiting planets and they're the easiest to track because it's the it just that's kind of how we set up our life. That, you know, our calendars, our days, our nights, it's around the sun and the moon mostly. So it's the easiest thing to track. And if you know your rising sign and you can track what house the sun and the moon is in, you're gonna see that throughout the year, it's touching on everything. Nothing is being neglected. Everything's gonna have its time to shine. Everything is gonna have its space to adapt and change and bring a new fresh energy to it. So I think that's really fun and exciting. And that alone, just that idea is very Gemini because we got to keep it fresh. We got to keep it light. We got to like keep going. Gemini is like the trickster too. It's just like it's shifty. It's like it could be this. Oh, it could be this. But not from a malicious place. It's just from a very like it's like the I don't know, maybe like the gesture or something. Like it's fun, it's exciting. It's there's just like a desire to keep things going all the time. And it's fast. So there is a quickness, there is a airiness. Things aren't so serious. Things aren't going to just like sit and sink and become heavy and stagnant. There is this desire to keep the energy flowing and moving and keep the talking going. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So though we do have this conjunction, which is like they're together of the moon and the sun and Mercury right now, it's even stronger, you could say, because Gemini is also ruled by Mercury. So that communication piece, the way that the energy moves in Gemini is through the self-expression. It's through the outward pouring of what's inside. So it's not just sitting inside and building up, building up. It's moving all the time. The ideas are coming in, the thoughts are coming out. You're talking to someone, you're calling your friend, you're going over here, you're taking a drive. Like that's all. That's what Gemini loves. So it's very exciting. It's very fun. I love it. Um, I'm feeling really refreshed. I feel like today, especially, I've noticed it, and maybe because we have this astrological energy and because I'm paying attention to it, I can feel that lightness. And I really love Gemini season. For me, it's my sixth house, so it's like my routines, my daily life, and my work. And you feel it too. And I'm just like, and I do notice this in my life that things do start, there's an air of change that comes in Gemini season for me and around like my life. And being that it's my sixth house, it makes a lot of sense. And um I don't have any planets here, so otherwise this house all through the year, it's kind of like, I can consciously think about, it's not that, okay, I want to preface and say, if you have zero planets in a house, it doesn't mean that throughout the whole year, nothing is happening in that area of life. That's not what I'm trying to express here. But when things do come through there, it just feels more alive and maybe than another house that has a ton of planets in it that you're always really, really hyper focused and conscious and like working with very regularly. So regardless, if you have any planets in a house, there's always something happening because you can always track the ruler of that house. So for example, my Mercury is going to influence my sixth house in general all the time, even with no planets in it. I hope that wasn't confusing. But what I'm trying to say is that there is a freshness that comes with when the sun makes a transit to a new sign. And then there's another layer of freshness that comes when the moon is in a new moon position, which means the moon and the sun are together. I know I say this all the time on these calls, like when, describing like a new moon versus a full moon. The new moon is the sun and the moon combined, and it makes the moon black, makes the moon dark because the sun is overpowering, you could say, the moon's energy. So the moon itself is not as it's more they're more unified. In the moon, the emotions are not so heightened and extra and out there, and you're able to see what they are because they're so available and being shined upon. When you have a full moon, which is why in a full moon, a lot of people, there's all this things around a full moon, the hospitals are full and people act crazy and all this stuff because their emotional state, their inner world is like being exposed. It's like being shined. The personality, the sun, yourself is like being able to see, and they're sort of separate from each other. They're opposite each other in that instance. This is where they're combined with each other. And I want you to think about this. We have the 12 months, right? And we have the 12 main zodiac signs that we're working with. We have the 12 houses. And every single year, you're going to have usually one, sometimes two, new moon of each sign. So there's only one time in the whole year, more or less, that you're going to have a new moon in Gemini in that specific house system, activating all the things, whatever it's activating in your chart. So we're looking at it's in your 12th house. Nice. Oh, that's very inward and like that makes sense when you're saying you're feeling all cozy and like retreated, like that's perfect. Um, so we have one full moon in each sign, so one full moon in each house a year, and one new moon in each house a year. So even though it's like every month, I'm saying we have a new moon, a full moon, whatever, like it's kind of it feels, at least in my mind, I'm like it feels so repetitive. It feels so like, yeah, okay, well we've done that, we've been there, like a full moon, a new moon, who cares? You kind of just drift away. But when I think about it as like this is your new, fresh emotional inner world, like fresh slate of that specific area of life, then you can kind of start to work with it in a different way. And then that the full moon version of that, so the full moon version, Gemini full moon, which is going to happen in Sagittarius season 6 months from now, that's the closing of that new thing that got opened. And also, every closing is also a new beginning as well. So it's opening up to the next thing. And so they kind of interact with each other on this 6 month cycle. So just something to think about, that this new moon is really like we're refreshing the inner energetics, the feminine part of ourself in relation to the area of life that Gemini is in your chart. And you might have a bunch of planets in Gemini. You might have no planets in Gemini. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. It's still um doing something in that area of life. Um, yeah. So let's go on to the human design for a second because I'm not really going to go that far into it. I just want to mention it briefly, and then I really want to talk about the gene keys, and then we'll do the dream arc and open up for chatting. Okay. So this is 6 degrees in 5 minutes of Gemini. That's the placement of where this is happening. And that is activating the 16th human design gate, which is also the 16th gene key. And in human design, there's a body graph. So these relate to the 9. In human design, there's 9 energy centers. And this is in the throat center. So this is happening in the throat, which is very fitting because, again, Gemini, the throat expression, it makes a lot of sense. And it's the gate of skills. And you're going to hear with the gene keys as well, but this is all about becoming a master at something, using your skills to master something through the repetition of that thing. And it's about expression. Everything that's from the throat in human design has to do with expression. And just in general, it makes sense. Throat, how we express things. And in human design as well, the throat is how we manifest things, how we bring things into our reality. Yes, so this is the gate of skills. So also, I don't know if you guys have this pulled up now or if you know, or you can pull it up later. I would look at your human design body graph using your exact time of birth because it'll give you 2 charts. So even though you might not be a Gemini normal, like regular astrology chart, you might have the unconscious Gemini placement. You might have this still in your other chart, which is your design chart in human design. So it's worth it to look at both. That's why I always would look to my human design chart as opposed to either astrology or gene keys because it's going to have a lot more available. Okay. Let me see if my hot chocolate is not too hot and I fix it. Okay. Now this gene key, if you don't know the gene keys, just a really quick refresher. Um, it utilizes the I Ching and it's from the human design system. It's a completely separate system, but it utilizes the same 64 gates, which would be the 64 keys and gene keys. I quite enjoy the gene keys. It feels very, um, I like that it's a journey. It's like you're going from a shadow frequency to the gift and then to the city, which would be the highest expression possible of that specific energy. And it's following very closely the I Ching. And human design also follows very close to the I Ching and astrology and human design. So we're going to have a shadow, a gift, and a city. And it's going to take us on this journey towards evolution, our literal, evolution. And so these archetypes we can all relate to them in some way. Even if you don't have this in your chart, you still have this. We all have all of everything within us, okay? So for the 16, the shadow is indifference, and the gift is versatility, and the city or the highest expression is mastery, okay? And again, this is a Gemini archetype. And the name for this gene key is called Magical Genius, which I love that. And again, like Gemini is, and all the air signs are more mentally inclined in life. And there is a very genius energy about them. And especially Gemini as well as very high mental capacity. Now, okay, we're gonna go into the shadow first, and this is indifference. And oh my God, there was a quote. Let me read you this quote. I posted it on my Instagram, and it was written in the Gene Keys, but it wasn't from the Gene Keys. It's actually a quote from a Holocaust survivor. and it was really cool. Find it real quick. Okay. And the quote is that the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness, it's indifference. The opposite of faith is not hearsay, it's indifference. And the opposite of life is not death, it's indifference. And so that can kind of give you the feel that indifference brings as a shadow frequency, because it's really it's worse than actually any kind of expressive emotion or state. It is like the absence of living. It's the absence of everything. You were just completely indifferent. And then just kind of feel into maybe ways in which that has been active for you in your life. And with this shadow, it's it's relating to the idea that we maybe are in our life, we have a dream, we have a desire to become something or to reach a certain level of success, but we're not willing to actually do anything about it because we might think that we can't, like, there'll be all the list of reasons as to why we can't, the list of excuses, the victim mindset that is very inherent in our current society, that is praised a lot of times in our current society. Oh, it's okay. We know that you're so busy. Of course, you don't have time to accomplish anything. Like we praise it. We, we're not. It's and it's not necessarily inherently malicious. It's part of the process. But it's the idea that you think that you could, like there's something that you want, but you're not willing to do anything to get it. You're not willing to actually put anything into action. And so you don't do anything and you don't actually go anywhere, you don't actually achieve anything. It is a false reality. You live in a delusion. Actually, we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we go to the repressed and reactive nature of the shadow. But the biggest thing that in the Gene Keys it was expressing with this shadow is that it is life without enthusiasm. There's no enthusiasm. And so you're not actually living your life. You might as well not even be alive, really. And so if you and it's really like it's like when you give something meaning or significance, like how think about how that instantly changes the circumstance of whatever you're in. If you're wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, life might not be that thrilling. It might not feel that amazing at the moment, but when you make it something that is actually very significant, when you make it something that's worth experiencing, when essentially you remember that every moment is worth experiencing, otherwise you wouldn't be living in that moment, you you can really actually make changes from that place. Otherwise, you can't get away from that. You're not accepting that that's where you are. You're not appreciating what's actually available to you in that moment that's actually perfect for where you want to go, where you say you want to go, where your energy says that you want to go. Um, and I think that to become enthusiastic about your life in whatever circumstances that you happen to find yourself, you all of a sudden you gain time, energy, you draw in resources, people can feel your excitement, your enthusiasm, they want to help you, you're making connections. So all the excuses of, well, I don't have time, I'm so tired, no one cares, all those things completely shift when you decide to actually be enthusiastic about what's in front of you, when you decide to make what's in front of you significant. Um, because of course we are the the like we are the ones that get in our own way. Like we are the ones that are stopping the flow. Life is not stopping. Life is moving and flowing and changing. We are the ones that don't accept it, and that's why things stay the same, because everything else is changing and you're changing too, and you have the capacity to change very quickly, quantumly, to quantum leap. But we as humans complicate everything with our big fancy brain and our big fancy nervous system and all these things that we say, no, 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 subconsciously. No, I need to stay where I'm at. I need to stay where I'm at. This is where I'm at. I can't change. I don't have the time. And then life is like, okay, cool, you don't have the time. Cool. No time. No, I don't have the energy. I'm so tired. Okay, you don't have the energy. Like, so agreeable. But if we're excited, like, I am so tired right now, but I'm going to just be in that and accept it and be enthused by every moment that I am able to, that I'm awake and see like what in my direct, immediate surroundings can I bring life into. Because again, like that quote was saying, it's like the opposite of life is indifference. It's not even death, it's indifference. So if I want to be alive, I might not be feeling great, and that's fine, but don't be indifferent to it. Have like bring something to it. Bring a bring an energy to it. Don't just show up with nothing and expect um anything to change from that or expect life to give you more, when you aren't fully showing up as you can be and as you should be. And that's actually going to give you, even in the worst situations, um, I think that even being showing up fully in that, it's like you are saying that you're able to be like you're available to life. You're available to things happening and coming to you. Because if you're completely dissociated from reality, no matter how painful it might be at times, um, which is not right or wrong, but it's like you're closing down to anything else that could be available to you. You're not even able to see what's available to you because you're not even there. Um, yeah. So so each shadow has a repressed and a reactive nature. And when we're in the shadow of this, Um, so if you have the 16 in your chart, you might find yourself in this energy more frequently. If you don't have the 16, it's something that might come in and out of your awareness. But it can express repressed or reactive, and it kind of switches between the two. So it's not just one or the other. So um, the repressed energy of the indifference is being gullible. I found that really interesting. And this is like the collective lie, the collective victim story, and and believing that you just can't change. And so you're becoming gullible. It's repressed. It's like, I'm not moving. I'm not going to do anything. I can't go anywhere. Everybody's in the same boat as me too. Life sucks for everybody. It's just hard, and it's like that's your story. And it's going to leave you powerless, and it's going to always leave you the victim. And if you're powerless, then if you truly believe that, then good luck making any positive changes in your life. Now, the reactive nature is being self-deluded. And the reactive nature, in a way, doesn't even truly exist because to be indifferent is sort of to not be reactive. You're not being reactive at all, and you're actually creating boundaries, creating walls between out there and inside. And when you create walls in any scenario for any reason, and you're in your world inside, you become self-deluded because you are living in your own self-created world. And what they said in the book, the Gene Keys book about this, is that the repressed, it's like you're believing the propaganda outside of you, of the story, the collective story. And then the self-deluded, you are believing your own inner propaganda that you're telling yourself, that you made up. But I think that anytime we close down and make walls and don't let people in and don't let ourselves out, we don't get an accurate understanding of who we really are because we're not sharing in that reflection that happens when you're open-hearted and you're connecting with another person. And even if you're not open-hearted, even if you're like struggling, but you're still making that choice to like connect with someone and be open-minded at the very least and see what they're giving you, you're able to like self-correct your energy. But when you're completely closed down and not open-minded or open-hearted or just everything is like stay away, you are automatically putting yourself in a delusion because you're going to create all these stories and this is why they did that and this is this and this is but you're not even willing to interact with another person or the world or anything to actually verify these things. So you can tell yourself anything that you want all day long. And your mind definitely will. The mind will has no problem telling you story after story after story why the world sucks, why you suck, why everything is just a downward spiral into like the abyss until there's nothing left. So the self-delusion. Now, move on to the gift. This was such an interesting gene key to work with. And I don't have this gene key. But okay. Just the way these play out. Sometimes it makes sense a lot. Like sometimes it makes a lot of sense to me how that goes from the shadow to the gift to the city. And sometimes I'm like, that's so interesting how they put that together. The gift is versatility. And this is like the idea that you have a skill and instead of just focusing on one skill, and the way Richard Rudd, who wrote the Gene Keys in his Gene Keys book, was saying, just describing it from his perspective, and you can believe whatever you want, is that to go from a skill to actually making that a talent or and then to become a master at it, it takes 7 years because that's when the cells are all regenerated in the body and it's really sunken in to your essence. You don't have to think about it. You just know that skill. It's just who you are. And so we have skills, right? Or we have inclinations to do certain things, to gain certain skills. And we are ideally, in the gift frequency, we're using these not just to better ourselves and to get to a higher state of consciousness, which is part of that gift frequency, but it's also to be of service to humanity because obviously all of our skills and our gifts are the things that we do, our purpose. It's not for us only, it's for everybody to to come together and do that for each other. And this gift of versatility, it's about tapping into the energetic field of all gifts. And all gifts, I'm talking about all the gifts in the gene keys. Oh, really? Your vocation and SQ or 16. Wow. Right. Yeah, you have I remember this human design gate for you as well. Yeah. So this is a big thing. Um it's about tapping into the energy frequency of all gifts and all gifts being all gifts, but like all the gifts in the gene keys, which are all very, very like archetypal. For lack of a better word, it's not really the word I want to use, but it's like part of the human experience. These are not just like random words. Maybe they seem like random words sometimes, but they are really parts of the whole human experience. And with the 16, it's literally about being able to just be in whatever gift at whatever time that is needed and in whatever situation. And so they were likening it to when you are increasing a skill set, and let's say you're going up, vertical. You're going vertical, you're learning something, you're getting better and better, you're practicing, you're gaining that skill, you're increasing it. This specific gift, versatility, is about going up and across at the same time. So you are tapping into many different things. You are becoming versatile. And they really likened this to like in the world, and they were talking about a lot about like energy. So it's like instead of just taking coal or an oil, let's say, and we're just going hardcore and that's the main energy source, that's the thing, and it just penetrates until there's nothing left, or it's kind of absent, it's indifferent to the potential harms big or small, whatever they are, when we're just hyper focused on one thing. With versatility, it's being able to take from here and here and here and here and here and get everything you need from a wider range of things so that it's not only pulling from one avenue that could at some point depend basically any avenue you go down. If you just only go down that one avenue, if we're talking energy or something that's serving the collective, something is going to become depleted at some point. And at the very least, you might be putting your eggs in one basket and something happens to that one thing, and then everything is fucked because you were not diverse in that supply. So you can look at it either way or both, but this gift is about being able to take that, have that flexibility and that versatility and bettering yourself and bettering others. And they also pointed out when I was reading about this gift in the book, hold on a second. Annie, shut the door. In. Shut the door. Thank you. Sorry. They pointed it to like the idea of self-sustainability, which honestly, I don't even like that word because it's more it kind of gives the idea that it's just you sustaining yourself, and I find that to be unrealistic. Like if you are just it's just you and you're like, I'm gonna grow everything I need to eat. I'm gonna grow and make everything that I need to wear. I'm gonna do it all myself, that was me for so long. I'm like, I'm gonna do it all myself, every single thing down to like the freaking pencil. Like I want to like do everything so I could just be completely self-sustaining. And then you think about like how much time, work, energy, money, like that's going to be the most impossible thing. It's going to be so hard. But if you had like 10 people, right? If you had like 10 people in your local community and it's like, okay, they're really good at making sweaters or something, like they're really good at growing this, this, and this, and then I can grow this, this, and this, and do this, and then they can do this, and then we can all come together, and then that's like the versatility. We're all going to work together to do what we need to do. I want solar, I want water power. If I have a river, like I can put the little thing that spins or whatever and like powers my house, because maybe not every day is going to be a sunny day, maybe not every day is going to be a windy day, but if we have all these things together, then we can get where we want to go. We can actually, increase ourself, but also increase what everybody else needs as well. Yeah, the village mentality works. Like, no, you know what I mean? It's like it's so obvious, but then we've gotten so disconnected from it, and then it's like F society. But then now it's like, don't F society, but like let's all like remember that we are neighbors, that we're all here, we're all people. Like, like how many of us don't know who's across the street? I don't know really who's across the street from me. I live in the country. We know our one neighbor. I kind of know of the people, but like I don't really talk to them. So I'm not saying that I am a perfect representation of these things, but it's like we're people, and people, this is kind of getting off track, but like we did not come to live isolated and alone and try to do everything for ourselves, or just focus on one thing. I guess in relation to this gene key, it's like as a society, we can't just focus on one thing. We're looking collectively. And as a person that's really in this archetype, it's not about just being good at one thing. And it's about being open to anything that you might want or need to be, because you also don't know if you're being drawn to something. There might be a service that you are going to provide for somebody else because you decided to go in and be drawn to this thing. Yeah, so it could play out in different ways, but yeah, it really, like the big thing. Oh, and there was a quote I wrote down too from the book, and it's true prosperity is brought about by people following their genius whilst working together collectively, which obviously makes sense. And in astrology, this would be the 11th house of hopes and wishes and dreams, which we say that you might have a dream, you might be the CEO, 10th house, but you're never really going to get anywhere without coming together with other people. Like your dream is not going to be completely fulfilled without the, at least like if you're selling something, someone's got to buy it, right? If you're putting something together, like you need people to help you. You need people to come in on that dream with you. Um, we can't do it alone. Like it's just not in our nature. And let me see, is anything else that I wanted to say about this gift? Yeah, I that so the city of this is actually really interesting as well. Um, mm, yeah, your vocation's a line 5, which is so big picture. Like it is society, it is a big community. It's like that's amazing. Yeah, there's definitely a lot in there for you. That's a very powerful position for your vocation, I feel. Like that's huge. Yeah, definitely keep looking into that and feeling that out in your life. The city is mastery, right? And this city, so have you guys heard of cities before? Like I've briefly heard of this before Gene Keys, like what a city is in, I don't know, what is that, babe? Like Indian culture, cities, yogic. Is it yogic? Where it's like you have a like a special power, right? So you're at a place where you're able to like work the energy in a way where maybe you can like light something on fire with your mind, or you can disappear, or you can I don't know, do something really miraculous. That is what the 16th city is actually about as well. It's like the city when we think of the word city from the yogic culture, the powers, the Siddhic powers, the mastery. So you are becoming a master in a way where like it's the highest expression. And again, the cities in Gene Keys, when we're talking about the cities, it's always this higher enlightened like the highest expression possible. So it's not something that the average person might never really experience that. And a lot of times for most people, it's going to be a glimpse here and there. It's going to be like, wow, okay. Because it's literally like the like Jesus or Buddha. It is like the highest expression possible of that energy. So it's hard to really be in that and maintain it, though I'm sure it happens somewhere on the planet to some people, but it's something that's like that's the striving. Like that's what we're going towards. That's the evolution. So in this particular gene key, it is literally like, I'm gonna light stuff on fire. I'm gonna make stuff disappear. I'm gonna levitate stuff. It's like these superpowers and not for nothingness. Like there's a purpose behind everything. And it's to be of service to humanity in some way. And in the Jinkies book, I keep relating back to the book, but I just found it really interesting. I didn't even write this down, but like he was saying, even if that purpose is pure entertainment, because sometimes that's the purpose. Sometimes it's to be like shock and awe, when we don't know what kind of effect that's going to have on certain people at certain times. And one of the quotes was, it is impossible to be indifferent to a miracle. And so that's the thing that really shocks people out of the indifference sometimes. Sometimes it takes that point. Some people are in such a indifferent mentality, indifferent place to like anything around them that it really would take a miracle to shock them back into like the beauty and life all around them. Okay, so that was the city mastery. And just quickly to touch on in Gene Keys, they have um just to take it to a little bit more complex, and if it's too much, then just don't think about it. Sorry. But they have all these codon rings, and the codon rings contain certain gene keys, and they also have a certain amino acid that is a part of that codon ring. So this specific gene key, the 16 and the 45, which we didn't talk about, but that's another gene key, is part of the ring of prosperity, which is really beautiful. And a, this is the amino acid that relates to the ring of prosperity is cysteine. I'm I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, or cysteine, Cysteine. And this is about the more we diversify and unite resources, the more successful and efficient we become. So it is that idea again of diversifying and coming together and uniting, and we become successful, we become efficient, things are going well. We're working together. We're working together with all of our gifts and all of our skills to actually make something happen. And then when you get in that good place, you can actually move forward. You can actually be prosperous. No worries, Jules. I'll talk to you soon. I'll send you the replay or I'll post it. Um, and this we'll talk about the dream arc animals and also the mineral of the 16 is coral, which I found really interesting. You can always just do your own personal research on those things. I'm not going to go deep into that, but there's a mineral for each gene key as well. So coral, which I really like that. And now, actually, I guess I'm going to share my screen and we will do, let's see this, the dream arc. If you don't know the dream arc, in gene keys, we're just gonna keep adding things here. In the gene keys, every gene key has 3 animals that are associated with it. So the shadow is associated with a fear key, which is usually a reptile or like an amphibian, or a fish. In this case, it's the stingray. And then the gift is always associated with a mammal. And then the city is always associated with a type of bird. And so the dream arc is a whole separate system, but it's intertwined with the gene keys. And I really like to read the guidance of the animal, because it gives another layer of depth that I find really fun to play with. And I like the idea of adding in these different animals that we all might have different ideas of or a different relation to. And so we can kind of bring that into our life during this time period. So I'm going to read you just the guidance, but for the fear key, for the shadow of indifference, the animal is the stingray. And then they have all these different categories. It's like it's a whole nother system, so they kind of get complex and whatnot. And this is one of the messengers, which actually is so fitting too, because we're talking about Mercury, and this is conjunct Mercury as well. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And this is the fear of one's own power. All right, so I am Stingray. I will not sting you unless you need waking up from your indifference. Indifference is the great human disease. You become easily absorbed with petty issues, and in doing so, you often miss the deeper emotional pain going on inside others. Who in your life is crying out silently for help? Somewhere there may be someone in pain who you are not noticing. Breathe and calm yourself inwardly. Allow the small troubles and afflictions of your daily life to dissolve. Come into the sphere of your heart and listen to its urgings. Why be afraid of your own power? Ask yourself, how can you help others more? Who might you be able to help? Who has been drawn into your circle? Most of the time, wounded hearts require someone simply listening to them to pay attention, listening to them deeply to pay them attention. There is nothing more sweet in this world than seeing one of your people reach out to another in need. Of course, there are many difficulties and responsibilities in your own life, but do you honestly wish to spend a lifetime worrying about such things? Step forward into the heart of your life. Do not remain in the shadows. You are here for something extraordinary. You are here to break new ground. Do not worry about what may happen. Your heart already knows what service it wishes to offer. Your life is to be one of deep compassion towards yourself and others. I'm not asking you to sidestep your own pain, but to transform it through service and creativity. Never fear that you can be overwhelmed by suffering. Use it to open your heart and look around for something more. Ask yourself, how can I be of help? My people are gentle creatures, though we can be fearsome when threatened. Soften, therefore, and realize there are no threats other than the ones in your own mind. Open your heart to work with those less fortunate than you for a time, and the Great Mother will show you the way forward from there. Scope the Stingray. While I was reading this, do you guys know what I was thinking about? Steve Irwin. Because he got killed by a stingray, right? In the heart from the stingray barb stinging him. But it's kind of interesting because he's like one of the most enthusiastic people. And it's kind of interesting. He was like very like the opposite of indifference. I don't know. That was just really interesting to reading this, and then that's what I was thinking of. And yeah, maybe there's some kind of like karmic or collective like, everything is for a purpose and a reason, and everything is exact and destined and specific, and we don't really know. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. Because I would say that he at least is what was portrayed to like the public, very indifferent, very wanting people to come together to do beneficial things and help animals and help uh the communities and really working to make those things happen. That's really interesting that him and the stingray co-created his death in that way. I find that really fascinating. Okay, so that was the stingray, and now we're gonna go to the gift, which is the rat, which I love the rat. I used to have pet rats, and they are like super underrated, very sweet, very smart animals. So this is also one of the messengers, and this is the life key, and it's called vibrant versatility. So I'll read you the guidance here. I am Rat. I carry an important message for you. Do not be deterred from your greatest goal in life. There is nothing that can prevent your success but your misbelief in your own capacity. Use the cutting through power of the art of contemplation to resolve each and every obstacle that you encounter on your path. You are to be a great contemplator. Just as you achieve your goal, whether worldly or spiritual or both, you will also be gifted by grace to assist others in overcoming their obstacles. Be not afraid of getting your feet dirty. There is nowhere and no one beneath you. As your greatest gift is to help those in life who have strayed far from their path and have themselves become outcasts. If I have hopped into your life now, it is to tell you that you are exactly where God wishes you to be right now. You are in the perfect situation to carve a new path and thrive. Use the obstacles in your life, therefore, as the thrusters to boost you into a new creative trajectory. Be deliberate, be unswayed by the opinions of others, and use my powerful teeth to gnaw through the ropes that bind you. Free yourself. No one is coming to save you. We rats must learn to rely on our own inner resources. If you wish to become a member of the rat clan, then you will be initiated into the mysteries. We are shown paths that are hidden from others. We receive secret techniques from the Creator. Such teachings concern the transformation of dark energies into pure essence. As a rat clan member, you are also afforded the great protection of the pure ones, and you will draw many new allies into your life. We rats are messengers. So you will also be given the gift of communication and shown how to use different languages, science, the arts, music to help bring others into the world of light. A great path lies ahead for you. Once you realize it is all only up to you to cut yourself free from the ropes of your lower mind. Yeah, look at that cute little rat. Right. And last but not least, we have the swift. I don't know if you guys know about the swift. It's a type of bird. And if maybe you know this, in certain Asian countries or cultures, they'll eat bird nests. It's like a beauty enhancing thing. Like I've seen people like they'll make it into soup and this stuff, and the bird nest that they're eating is from the swift, and it's actually from its saliva. It makes nests from its saliva because where they make their nests, at least certain varieties of swifts, are in caves or locations where they don't have a lot of the materials. And they're also extremely fast. They're like the third fastest bird. So like, interesting because I know a swift's kind of like not a very common bird that we think about. And this is one of the leapers. And this is the vision of agile mastery. So, hail to you from I, master of the skies. The very name you have given me is the key to my offering to you. What is it inside of you that you can do that no other can? Where lies your mastery? Although you may fear this question, you must ask it deeply and inquire into it. It does not have to be a thing. Some are masters of relaxation, of being, some of smiling, some of kindness, some of dreams. What essence are you here to shape into its perfect realization? When you find your essence, there you will find me. There you are swiftest. There you are at your most serene. Are you more poet or practical? Are you a thinker or a wanderer? Are you reliable or a vagabond? All possibilities exist for mastery. Just think beyond what is normally allowed. Just open your arms to the skies and celebrate your ability to shift and change and shimmer. Change is life. You must learn to love change, to breathe it in, to settle it into it over and over again, to surrender to its teaching. I am one of the leapers. We bring you the opportunity for rapid change. Go out into the air and carve a new wild path in the sky of your life. You have no need of plans. You have no need to pretend you know who you are and where you're going. Your purpose is just this, to learn to climb, to adjust to nature's pattern as it pours into the world. You cannot fall or fail. You can only learn and grow and evolve and improve and become happier and freer. You need only change your attitude, and all the world can be yours. Take the leap into the quiet and boundless airs and come revel with my people here in the skies. Okay, I'm gonna stop my screen share. Okay, so that was the dream arc animals, and then I'm gonna open it up to you guys if anybody wants. Ooh, there's some chats going on here. Wait, I think we read all these. Yes, okay. If you guys want to share anything, if you want to share your rising sign, and then I'll let you know what area of life this is happening for you, or if you have anything else that you want to share or talk about, or anything.
I'm Gemini, and Gemini, I think, is in a few others as well for me.
Yeah, I think I might have your chart. Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, you have your Saturn and Venus in Gemini as well as your rising. And this is pretty close to your ascendant because your ascendant's at 2 degrees and this is at 6. So technically it's conjunct. So this is all of Gemini season. And as well as the fact that it's the Gemini new moon, like we were talking about the cycle of the moon, the 6 month sort of cycle. This is your first house. So this is all about you. This is about like your appearance, how you are showing up in life. And with the first house, and especially the ascendant, it is the energy that when you embody that energy, life becomes easier. Everything sort of falls into place. Like when you are really going towards the highest version of the archetype of Gemini, as a Gemini rising, you are able to maybe deal with the difficulties that come from your other placements easier. So it's all about the adaptability as a Gemini rising. It's all about how can you adapt to fit your situation? How can you be more social? How do you communicate with people? You're like, yeah. How can you make those connections and keep it light? And it's like you might want to get to know the people in your everyday life. Like you might go check out at the grocery store with the same person all the time and like maybe get to know them. Like who knows what opportunities they're bringing to you and kind of work that muscle if it's a little bit a little stuck. The more you work it, the easier it'll get. And I think with the rising sign, sometimes it's not the easiest archetype, even though it's your rising and it seems like, oh, it should be easy. I don't feel that it always comes the easiest. It's just something that we have to that we know makes sense, and then we have to just continue to like perfect it and work it and like do it in the best that we can do it. And it'll get easier and you'll get better at it. But yeah.
Oh my God. And I've been in such hermit mode as well.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? It's going to start to lighten up, I think, a little bit because the sun's been in Taurus. That's been your 12th house. And so it's been for sure hermit time the past month. And now it's like, okay, you're having your inner rebirth. Every time the sun transits our ascendant, we have our own inner spring. And so it's gonna start to feel a little bit lighter and get a little bit, things are gonna start rolling. And yeah, and then also like Uranus that's in Taurus right now as well, which is in your 12th house, is going to be leaving that sign soon. So there's going to have some less action in your 12th house. So it's coming. Yay.
And I'm about to do a crazy thing as well with my friend and her kids, and we're gonna go camping on the first day of winter.
In town, or are you guys going a meeting up in another part of Australia?
I know she lives close by, and we're just gonna go to a local beach, which is really wild and crazy. So,
That's
and
gonna
it's
be
meant to
really
rain as well. She thought it was going to be really nice weather, but it's meant to rain. So this has been an Ish wish. So Ish has really been wanting to go camping. So she's getting her
That's so cute.
now.
An ish wish. I'm obsessed with that. That's so cute. I love that. Wow, that's gonna be wild. Hopefully you guys can have like a fire or something on the beach.
Oh my God, we definitely need to have a fire.
It's gonna be cold. Hopefully it doesn't rain, and if it does, do you guys have like a canopy? Like, or are you just gonna,
Yeah,
or I guess they'll have a tent too, but
yeah. We've got, I don't know if I'll bring mine as well, but she's got one. So we could both bring them and have an even bigger space.
yeah, that'd be so fun.
So they've got those. I don't know if it's a thing over there, but there's like these dome marquees. So we've got like this. We've both got a really big dome marquee.
Oh, I've never heard of that. It's like a dome shape, like a dome
And then,
canopy.
yeah, and then they've got rounded doors, and they can all connect. And there's walls that go on them as well.
That's cool.
Ours is a
Wow.
little bad though. It's got a couple of holes in it at the moment. So anyway, we'll
That is,
probably freeze. We'll have to bring lots and lots and lots of warm clothes. And the kids think they're going to go swimming, but they probably will. They're mad. They've been swimming. They've been down at the river making a cubby house and going swimming, and it's so fucking cold at the moment.
that's awesome. That's like my kids too. They don't care if it's cold. They love the ice cold rush that they get when they like go in the freezing river. They love it. I'm like, what the heck is going on? That's so funny. That's amazing.
The
It's gonna be
system probably lots better than ours are though, because apparently if you've got a regulated nervous system, it shouldn't be cold dipping at all. You should just nurture yourself in warm water,
Oh,
which
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Wow. That's gonna be really fun though.
I'm excited to have my to have everything come out of hermit mode though, because it's been a hard place to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Sounds
in bites because I'm having a lovely week of joining into Sadhana because there's a training going on at the moment that I'm not doing, but I'm joining Sadhana. And I just finished before this came on.
Oh, cool. Nice. That'll be nice to like work with at
Getting
the
up at 5:30 in the morning to join in.
Oh my God. That's kind of refreshing though, just to get
It's not
yeah.
just cold, but that's me getting out and getting into a community spirit a little bit.
Important. Did you want to say something, Roseanne?
Yeah, so it sounds like you got a lot of adventure going, and your birthday is now in this season too. Is that what you said? Or your rising sign is Gemini.
I'm rising.
Yeah, yeah.
My birthday is next month.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have my rising sign is at 5 degrees Gemini. So I guess this is happening. And when is the new moon? Is it today, tomorrow?
Um, it depends where you live, but I think it's like late at night today
Okay.
where we are. Or we're like I don't know, where are you?
I'm in the Midwest, so I'm in the Eastern time zone,
Okay.
Indianapolis. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was like 11 something p.m.
Okay.
tonight. So you're gonna feel it though for a couple days because the moon it takes a couple days in each sign.
Right.
So even if you're trying to work, let's say you like want to do something for the new moon, but you're like miss it on the exact day, like it doesn't really make that much difference. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, that's right there. Like this is your ascendant. Like this is completely being activated. And depending on the minute of the 5 degrees, do you know what the minute is? Like
Yeah,
the second,
32 minutes or seconds or whatever. Yeah, 32.
see, 32. It's actually okay. So astrologically, this is totally conjunct, but in the gene key, your rising would be gene key 20 instead of gene key 16. It's
Okay.
literally like minutes off because this one starts at 5:45.
Oh,
But that's okay. For anybody and everybody, this is still being activated, but it's just, yeah, your ascendant gene key, if you ever want to look that up, is 20.
okay.
So,
Okay. Cool. So, and then I know that Uranus is going into Gemini, what, next month or July? And then
yeah,
is Jupiter also going into, no, Jupiter's going into Cancer.
Jupiter's going into Cancer
So
next month.
Okay, Jupiter's in Gemini now. Okay. Okay.
Right. It's right at the end. Let me tell you. And then I have actually next month, the workshop is the one that is for Jupiter and Cancer. And
Okay.
that's on the 17th of June. But I think the actual date, let me find it, is the 10th of
Okay.
June.
Okay.
Jupiter is in Cancer. And then for Uranus is going to go in Gemini on the 8th of July.
Okay. Are you going to do a workshop on that one too?
Yes. So
Okay.
it'll be Jupiter, and then for July, it's going to be Uranus. And we're just like, bam, bam, like, what is this astrology? It's insane. Everything's changing. So crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward actually to Uranus coming into Gemini. I need a kick in the butt or something, so so Uranus will probably do that, I think.
Oh my God. Yeah. And that's my sixth house. And I'm like, I'm kind of excited too, because I'm like, what do we like? What in my actual life is switching up? And I hope that obviously everything's always, for our benefit, but I'm just like, what's it gonna be? I don't know. Because Uranus is always unexpected, so we can't really know. It's always gonna be something that we're like, what? What? So that'll be
Yeah, I'm ready.
exciting. I know. I'm ready for all this change. Everything's after the winter was felt really hibernaty, really like wintry, like the most wintry winter ever. And now it's like the change is in the air, and I'm so on board. Like Let's keep going. I love when things are changing and moving.
So do you want to talk about your rising sign and see what Gemini?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to, I'm going to ask for your assistance here. I've got, my rising sign is Sagittarius.
Yeah, zero degrees Sag, and then her
Um,
her descendant is 0 degrees Gemini.
okay, so it's your seventh house, and that is all about partnership. It's like if the first house is the self, the seventh house is everything that you might not relate to something that's not you. So a lot of times in the seventh house, when we have planets there or when things transit there even, sometimes it's an energy that feels like you only see it in other people or you see it the most. So it's kind of like, oh, they do this, this, and this. And it helps you to get a deeper reflection of the things that happen with yourself because you're able to see it outside of yourself, becomes more like, it's that reflection. So the seventh house is the reflection, but it's also relationships on, especially like, I don't want to say on a superficial level because it could be like marriage and stuff like that, but it's the first level of the relationship. So it's even acquaintances or people that you're just talking to that you maybe don't even know very well. But anyone you're kind of getting into their space, virtually or otherwise, and able to get that reflection back from them. And it's also an attraction point. So the seventh house is like a house that kind of pulls in people at different times for different things, depending on what we're putting out or what planets might be there. So if the moon and the sun is in the seventh house, you might be talking to people or meeting people that are very vibrant or like very sun-like, very creative, and they might kind of bring that out in you because you're the sun is transiting your seventh house. It's like you're able to like play off of their vibrancy or life force or creativity, and interact from that place and see more about your own creativity through them, if that makes sense. And yeah, and then so the moon, especially the new moon, it's kind of like this fresh slate of like this new beginning in relationships. Like, how are we going to now, like, now we have, and we can do this at any time, we can have a new beginning anywhere at any time. You have full control of your life, but it's almost like a permission to maybe consciously think about how can we, like, how are we normally showing up in these relationships or in these interactions with people, and maybe how do we want it to be better? So you might think about like what that might look like for you, or what do I feel inside when I'm talking to the main people that I'm talking to? Do I even like the people that I'm talking to? Do I like how I come across? Like, am I always getting this weird like thing whenever we talk? So like, what could I change about myself, about my own energy, about my own, like, how could I emotionally settle this or have a new way of going about this thing? Just depending on whatever's happening in your life.
Great, great. Thank you.
Welcome. And Frida, I don't know if you, oh, there, hey.
My rising sign is Taurus.
Right, I remember. Um, yeah, so this is your second house. It was amazing. That's the house of money and exchange, the material world, and like nature as well. It's like the physical. So the sun transiting in your second house is a great time to, I mean, literally, I would be outside a lot if you can. I would be like really in the natural world and just taking in that energy from material things and like seeing, like, there could be new opportunities of ways to make money, or you might be able to look at certain things that maybe have already been there in a different kind of way in relation to you utilizing your energy to create something, or you utilizing your money to get something. If anything has to do with that exchanging, and also your own personal value system, so how you value yourself, you might be able to have a fresh perspective on that, or maybe see something that you weren't seeing in relation to that you weren't seeing before, and now you're like, wow, oh, I didn't realize that my self value wasn't where I want it to be in this way. Like, let me look at that and kind of see, like, why am I feeling XYZ, or maybe you're really content with where your value is with yourself and kind of go to the next step of that and now extend it into money or things outside of yourself, that because it all stems from within. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna ask you, what's your favorite thing to do like during Gemini season? Like if there was one thing that you love doing.
Road trips.
Trips.
Gemini Gemini naturally rules over the third house, which is all about, which part of the third house is short distance travel. And so I love I find that a lot of times in Gemini season I'm traveling for myself, like sometimes it's short distance, sometimes it's, I think the last, literally, like now I'm trying to think, when did I move? I think that we moved from Mexico to Nicaragua. I'm pretty sure it was Gemini season, which is kind of short distance. When I moved from the Big Island, Hawaii to Oahu, it was Gemini season. When I now we're about to go on a road trip to New Jersey, it's Gemini season. So I swear it's like a thing. You usually do road trips. Yeah, I think it's a thing. That's my favorite thing to do in Gemini season that I really notice. But I also feel like it's a time to be like talk to people, like talk to your friends, hang out with your friends, do stuff with people if possible. That's what I would want to do.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. Awesome. This was so fun. Sorry I went over a little. William's like, how long is this gonna be? 2 hours? I'm like, no, it's gonna be 1 hour. He's like, it's never 1 hour. I'm like,
You are so amazing, Nicole. You can't fit it all into 1 hour.
oh my God.
This was freaking amazing. You
Thank
really.
you.
It was great. Thank you.
Thank you guys. I'm so happy that you're here. I will have the replay out, even though you guys probably won't need the replay, but you can do whatever with it. And the next call, I don't even know. I literally have not set the dates for the next moons, but we will have the new moon, full moon next month. But the one for Jupiter is on the 17th at 6 p.m. Everything's at 6 p.m. So that's what's happening. Also next month, I am starting the summer session of Inner Soil, which is like a 3-month long, I don't like the word program, but I don't really know what else to call it. Like a group immersion, I guess is the way I want to call it. So it's a group immersion where we're going to use astrology and some gene keys. It's going to be, I've been posting about it in the Telegram, so you can read more about it there. I'm still like finding the right words to explain it, but that's going to start in June on the summer solstice, and it's going to go for the 3 months through the summer, and it's going to be like following the astrology. So we're going to start with Cancer season. We're going to talk about the moon as like the main planetary influence of that time, the element, which will be with water at that time, and there'll be different quests, like little mini adventures. We're going to do like sky tracking. We're going to do like things that get you out in your environment and let you interact with like your reality, because then you're actually involved in life. And then it's like from that place, you're able to continue into the direction that you want. Like you're not just like, oh, I'm going to be on my phone and I'm going to do this. And you're kind of like, I have no idea what it's like outside. Like this is me a lot of the times too. Like now that I go outside every day since it's been spring, I'm starting to see like, I know what day the violets bloomed and then what day they stopped blooming. And it's like really taking you back to this rhythmic human experience that I feel like we've really forgotten. And yeah, we're going to talk about different ancestral lineages and picking 3 different lineages to work with during that 3 months. So something of your bloodline, something of the land or the area that you live, and then something that you're attracted or pulled towards. And kind of just like weaving those things in your life and learning some new skills. And the quests are going to be based on the elements and the seasons. And they're going to be things like building a fire, There are going to be things like dowsing for water, like something that is actually a skill, but it's also an activity that we should just know how to do because we're people. Like our ancestors knew how to make fire. That was like a pivotal point of our reality that we know it today. But the average person has no idea how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to be doing it with you. So I would love for you or anybody to come and join us. We're going to do it as a group. It's going to be so fun and just normal. It's just going to be like the new rhythm of life. And it's $111 per month for the 3 months. And they're going to run every season. So I have summer, fall, winter, spring, and they're going to be slightly different each season to follow with the rhythms. And I know, Preet, that you're in Australia is going to be slightly different. But when I say season, I mean like astrological season as well. And then just wherever your environment is. So it's like we're tracking. Okay, it's cloudy today. That's a weird cloud. How many of us like don't look up anymore? I've like noticed like I never look at the sky anymore. When I was a kid, I used to like look at all these clouds, and now I couldn't tell you if there was weird stuff happening in the sky because I'm never looking at the sky. You know what I mean? So it's like we have this like it's such a strange disconnect, and I feel like it's over time gonna work out as a disadvantage for us if we don't decide to bring that back into our life and remember that like we are also influencing our environment. Our environment's influencing us. And it's really beautiful and fun, and we can track different things and remember and go back and just interacting with nature. It's really cool. There was a bird that built his house in our sunroom over here because we had like a open window, a little house sparrow. And I learned that it was a house sparrow. I learned the house sparrow call, and it happened to be a sound that I could do myself. And I could call the house sparrow to come out, and it'd be like, and I could make the call, and it'd be like, come out. And I was like, this is awesome. I want to be a freaking bird caller. And then, and today, the 3 babies that it had, because it made its little nest, the babies got stuck in the little sunroom because they're learning to fly, and it's like all freaking full of random stuff in their trash, and like the window's weird. And I had to rescue all 3 of them with my hands and like set them outside, and like it was so cool. And yeah, it's just like one of those things that I could have just totally ignored them and been like, whatever, stupid birds in my side of my house, can't wait for them to leave. But it was really fun interacting with them and kind of calling out the mama bird and watching her and stuff, and just little things. But yeah, I would love to have anybody and everybody for that, and just in general. Otherwise, we'd love to see you guys next time for new moon, full moon, and Jupiter in Cancer. Can't wait.
Sounds
Uh,
good.
yes.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
Yeah.
You're welcome, you guys. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see
Thank
you next time.
too. You
Have
too.
fun. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Nicole.